This podcast features adult content not suitable for listeners under the age of 18. You have been warned. Previously on Back to the Story.
31
God
points
damn.
of fire damage.
Make a death saving throw. So at this point, Ball, with several orcs around you on the ground, Kalvyn looking rough. He's starting to look panicked almost, but a little more assured of himself as a smile kind of creeps across his face with Ellory bleeding out on the ground. He kind of climbs up over and then begins to fly forth away and out of the crevice, but he does lose his cover as you make your attack.
And scream out the judgment and let the flames take over as it goes, and then land square in his back right between the wings.
Looks like everyone's back. Okay, so jumping back in, you've just slain the last orc as the Manticore kind of falls to rest, the blood pooling up at its base, this dark, viscous, greenish-black fluid, as well as all the orcs' red blood onto the snow. You can hear orcs moving around various horns every now and then, searching for you. You've made a lot of noise, but they're not upon you right now. What would you like to do?
Okay, with Ellory closer. Sorry, I'm going to channel divinity first. And I'm going to give you 5, I'm going to give Ball 5, and I'm going to take 10 for myself.
Okay, so this white, silvery, golden light spreads out from Vesper, enveloping everyone around and healing up some of those wounds.
And I'm just limping forward because I can't see Kalvyn. I can see everybody else but not Kalvyn. So I'm just trying to get to where I can see him, make sure he's okay.
Yeah, and when Ellory's within 30 feet is when I do that.
Yeah, so Ellory, you limp forward. The channel divinity goes off.
Kalvyn will be limping towards the Manticore, intending to carve up his trophies.
Kalvyn, I don't have much in terms of survival, but I know naturalism. If you assist me, you're looking a little tired, no offense.
No, that would be great. I'd really appreciate it.
I can roll survival. I'm trying to go off of my nature more, but...
Okay, and who's going to be doing the actual carving? Who's assisting and who's carving?
I'll be assisting him.
Yeah, because you're at disadvantage, so at least I can have advantage.
It's technically survival. Roll. Well, you're already getting an advantage. Roll, Kalvyn. If you communicate to him what he needs to cut, are you doing so?
Yes, I need to get the mark pelt. I need to get the heart. I need as many spikes as we can get, as many claws, and as many fangs.
Okay. So I'll say, Wink, go ahead and make a nature check with advantage.
Okay, so that is 20.
20, okay. And make a survival check with advantage and then add 5 to it. So you're looking, as you're hearing him, you're kind of going through here's how I'm going to remove this, here's how I'm going to cut out that. You're going to, using your knowledge, to go through the best way to remove it, and now you're actually doing it.
Okay, then that is a 23.
Damn, okay. So Kalvyn, you just tell him what to go through first, and he begins to do it. What's the first one you want?
The marked pelt.
Okay, so when you kind of get on top and go with Kalvyn kind of aiding you, showing you where to cut as you're kind of guiding it along. As you two are working on getting the pelt off, what are the rest of you guys doing?
We have to go. We really have to go and find somewhere to hide. We can't just stay here.
How long does it take for, would it be long enough for Ball to take an arduous rally version of a short rest while they're cutting up the Manticore?
Yeah, you imagine you'd be able to do that. Kind of as 5 minutes pass, the pelt is cut off. This is a big pelt, and it takes about that many minutes to cut it off.
And I can only do medic on a short rest, Roger. I'm sorry.
So you have to be short resting as well?
I have to be short resting. Yeah, it has to be during a short rest. But I
can't during my short rest, for example?
No.
Or the idea is you're doing it during... Yeah, I understand.
No, but I can use my healer feat, and I'll give you... It is a d6 plus 4 plus your max hit die. So plus another 4. So that is 7 plus 4, so 11 total.
Oh, so I get 11 health.
Yeah, I'll patch you
plus
up.
whatever my rolls are. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So that's what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am pulling spikes out of myself and handing them over to Kalvyn.
Yeah, I was about to say, Kalvyn's going to shout, "Keep those! We need those!"
Okay. So at the end of about 5 minutes, Vesper, you've done your healing. Ellory, you've moved over, taking out the spikes, kind of putting it at Kalvyn's feet. And I'll say, Kalvyn, because you were kind of helping Wink, and as he's cutting along the long end, kind of getting the guts, the easy part, you go over and gather the rest of the spikes. All the spikes, including Ellory's, should be 15 spikes, not including the ones that are on the tail. So these are just ones you pick up, and you can throw in your bag of coating. At the end of those 5 minutes, Wink with Kalvyn kind of help cuts the last bit of the pelt off, and you have the belt. And you can fold it up and force it into the bag of coating. Are you going to go? What's the next thing you want to try to harvest?
The heart.
Okay. So as you're going for the heart, Wink, make another survival check at advantage, +4.
16.
Okay, so y'all work to flip it over, and as you carve in, you'll begin to work on that. As this is happening, what are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm going to do another healer feat on Ellory and give her D6 plus 8.
Okay, so as Ellory's pulling out the spikes, you kind of use your healer's kit to kind of quickly patch them up as they come.
That's a full 6. So,
stuffing gauze in there.
6 plus 8.
14?
Yes.
Okay, Amsen, are you doing anything? Amsen, Wink. Wink's actually working, Amsen.
I'll go up to the entrance of this, I'll be in front of the Manticore as they're carving it up, keeping an eye out for other orcs coming in this direction. And
okay.
I'll have my hand crossbow at the ready to shoot if somebody sees me.
Make a perception check.
Okay, perception. Oh, that's not bad. That's a 13.
Okay, 13. So as you're kind of keeping out, you have your hand crossbow ready, you're just keeping your eyes out. You can hear them moving, a horn every couple minutes. It's hard to tell. There's echoing going off. It's hard to tell whether they're getting closer or further away. They're close, relatively. You're guessing a football field or two. So they're relatively close. It's hard to tell if they're sprinting towards you or just sprinting in the area.
Right.
At the end of those minutes, the healing is done. Amsen, you've moved up. And Wink, you're able to, with Kalvyn's help, Kalvyn pulling back, breaking away the ribs, and Wink getting in and cutting off these massive arteries, just the size of thick ship rope, cutting off these arteries, bringing out this heart that's about the size of like a volleyball that you pull out, put in the bag of coating. You now have the heart of the Manticore.
What else do we need?
The rest is inconsequential. It's just a couple gold each.
Let's go.
I think we should go. Yeah.
Okay. So there's probably 16 spikes on the end of the tail. There's probably between all four paws. There's probably 20 claws, and then fangs, 2 big ones, and then probably just numerous. There's 3 rows of teeth. You're guessing maybe anywhere from 40 to 60 teeth or fangs. But yeah, as y'all say there, are y'all heading out?
Yeah.
Can I kick
I'm
off
looking
one
for somewhere
fang?
to hide.
I'm sorry, I heard 2 people. Kick a fang, and then what was the
Look for somewhere to hide as we're running.
Perception check for Vesper, and then Wink. You can just kick the mouth, and a few fangs will come loose.
Yeah, I just want to grab one.
I'll say 2. You can grab 2 if you want.
Sure.
Just to remind everyone that I'm at half movement right now, so...
Not anymore. Melly, expeditious retreat.
Thanks, Melly.
Am I able to get my spear?
Yeah. It was kind of on the underside, on the belly, and you gotta withdraw the spear.
That's a 17 on my perception.
Okay. Looking around, it looks like this crevice actually heads down and curves to the south, which is going to get you south and away from the Knock Mountain range. You don't immediately see anything, but it's getting you away from the area.
Perfect. Let's go there.
Okay. So you'll begin to move off in that direction. As you're coming down, over the next couple of minutes, you work your way down until you reach into thicker pine trees still covered in snow. And eventually you come out of a tree line as you move through the forest, coming into that blank field that you've seen before. You're further to the west than you were before, but you see this blank field. You know on the other side there's thicker woods if you keep going south. As Vesper, you kind of scan across. You see a few fallen trees and a boulder that might serve, one of the trees is fallen on the boulder, and it might serve as a kind of a nook, a hole.
Yeah, I'll drag us that way.
Wait, are we close to the cave where we spent some time before?
You're not super close to it.
Okay.
From where you are, because you've kind of, you've come through the pass, and instead of going east towards the cave, you've basically come south. You could head that direction, but it would take a while to get there.
Do we want to go there?
Let's find somewhere to rest for a little bit first, and then think about where to go next.
All right, there's a thing there. I'll pull them that way.
Okay. So as the group moves across the empty field, there's blood kind of dripping from various wounds of yours. Some of them have been patched up. As you're moving across the field, you come to, there's a boulder where a tree is kind of fallen onto it, and there's a bit of a nook in there that you can kind of get up under it a bit. This kind of shielded almost 360 degrees. There's one view from sort of inside the forest that they would be able to see, but they have to look at a particular angle to get to it. It seems reasonable enough.
So as soon as we have a moment where everyone's kind of there and we breathe, I round on Kalvyn and I slap him across the face as hard as I fucking can.
You want to roll damage on that?
I don't, because my strength is a -1.
I want to see the damage roll, please.
So it's what? It's a D4 -1?
Kalvyn, are you just going to take it? She rounds on you? Otherwise, it's just kind of a flavor slap.
It was kind of taken out of I mean, I'm assuming I didn't see it coming.
Okay. Just to ignore some dice rolls, it's just a role play slap, it seems like, mainly. And you don't see it coming, she rounds on you, slaps you across the face.
Okay. He just crumples to the ground.
Vesper stares at you in one facial expression without moving because she's frozen. So yeah, so what happened is as you round to slap, as you're kind of getting your bearings, Wink, you've kind of crawled up on top of the boulder and are kind of low to the ground, looking out over the field with your bow next to you, ready to go if so be. As you hear behind you go,
you fucking hypocrite! What the fuck was that? You liar. You promised us you were going to protect us, and you almost got us all killed back there. Are you fucking serious?
Oh, I guess I could get back up after that.
Alright, really, right now?
Right now. Fucking the stars wouldn't shine as bright if any one of us was gone. Well, you almost blacked out the whole fucking sky, Kalvyn. You could have gotten us all slaughtered back there. Are you serious? This is not the first time we've had to protect ourselves from you. What the hell is wrong with you?
Are you kidding me right now? Look at this. Let me explain to you something. You're so caught up in this bullshit between us that you're fucking not looking at the bigger picture here. You just talking about black the sky, we sent an army of 600 orcs to our home. They might live. We had a chance to stop that, and we ran from it because somebody is so afraid to die.
This is 600 orcs, Kalvyn. We couldn't stand up.
All we had to kill was one. You only had to kill
You think they wouldn't still kill us after her?
They might, but we would have saved our home. You saved what? Check your fucking ego. What makes your life more valuable than anybody else in Embershore? You know how many people are gonna die when those orcs hit there? And that's all on your fucking hands because you wouldn't stand up for what was for what was right.
How the fuck is that my hands?
I limp forward and I just wedge myself physically in between the two of them, and I don't say anything.
This is ridiculous, Kalvyn. You're the one who
did what I thought was right.
She was ready to let us go. We wouldn't have any danger.
She really let us fucking go. Walk away. Yeah, that's a 10-minute walk away, which totally worked. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you had to run.
Yeah, we could have walked away and lived.
Talking about me about the bigger picture. Honestly, you know why I don't see the bigger picture, Kalvyn? Because not my...
you can't look ahead. You're not worried about it. You're not worried about anybody else but your fucking self.
Oh my god, Kalvyn. I'm the one who keeps all of us alive.
Yeah, that's such a good job.
You get to be the fucking hero.
Wink jumps down. All right, children. We're all gonna sit down and have a fucking talk for a minute, okay? First of all, your town was doomed the minute that pirate captain sent you there with the sword. No matter what was going to happen, she was going to go there for him. And if it wasn't you that revealed it, she would have burnt down 100 towns in order to find him. Second of all, Kalvyn, aggravating her, probably not the best idea. Even if you killed her, they probably would have gone and killed your town just out of spite for killing their leader. So, can we all just accept that things happen sometimes? Whether we like it or not. And if you want to put your frustrations at anything, put it on the man that started this. That is also the key to saving your fucking town. I've been with you all for a few days, and let me tell you something. You're really fucking powerful. for just being kids. And you can do a hell of a lot. Probably change the damn world, because I've seen a lot of it, and I have not seen the shit that you can do. Or you're going to let petty squabbles and not trusting each other or talking before you go into places like this about your feelings, or switching to Elvish and rounding to Ellory, talking in other languages you think the party doesn't understand.
And before this point, actually, I was already just silently tears running down my face. But I just kind of nod when he says that.
You're all going to either run out on each other over a stupid squabble, or you're going to die. And that's going to be very sad for a lot of people that you could help. So why don't you take a breath, realize that you were fucked from the start, and see what you can do about it. Because what happened, happened. We can't go back and change it. Learn from it. Grow. Don't fight each other over it. I go back on top of the rock.
Ball's gonna walk up and just say, I agree. And that's it. Nothing else.
Don't ever tell me I don't see future. Don't ever tell me I don't look ahead, because when you get to finish a fight, Kalvyn, you get to be the hero and you get to stand there glorious with your fucking swords ablaze. Guess who's the one washing your blood off of her hands at the end of the day? I am. Don't tell me I don't look ahead, because I think about that every damn minute of a fight. I think about that every damn second. How much
Kalvyn
I'm gonna
starts walking into her. They're right.
That's right.
Sorry, did you say you were walking into her?
Yeah.
I'm standing between the two of you, by the
Well,
way.
at this point, Ball will step in front as well. There's no time to lose. And I'll, point at, my messed up chainmail. Point at, Kalvyn's bloody face. Maybe even, wipe some of the blood off of Kalvyn's face. And just kind of, or off of whatever wound you have. I'm not going to jab my finger into it, but you know what I mean? And then just kind of, show you, a bloody hand. And just say, we have more important things to do. Like getting out of here alive. Now, go rest. Link and I will walk. And then I'll go, start walking outside to go find another hiding spot near Wink.
I'll give him a bit of side-eye, gleaming in the sunlight, but allow him to stand there.
I'd like to think my chainmail's not as shiny anymore, considering it's, all dented and beat up.
Fair enough.
I just walk off and find a spot to sit.
Before she walks off, he grabs her. Maybe just her arm. And kind of gets in her face, and maybe just loud enough so that she can hear his, next time you hit me, better finish me. And he kind of throws her arm and walks off himself.
All right. So you'll separate, walking off to your respective corners of the nook. Some of you looking out. A few minutes go by. A few you can hear every now and then in the distance. You can hear a horn blow, but it's quiet and it's distant. 5, 10, 15 minutes go by like this, and nothing really changes drastically. What do you guys want to do?
I believe taking a short rest functionally sounds amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're able to rest up, and after you rest up, you kind of look around. A few hours have passed. It's getting to be late afternoon at this point.
If Ellory and Ball need hit die, you can take a full.
You don't hear the horns anymore. As you look around, you know that Ember Shore is a few days away.
I would not have waited through the whole short rest before going over to Kalvyn.
Okay.
And what is Kalvyn doing? Is he just sitting there?
Yeah, I guess patching himself up. Maybe by that point he's holding his head in his hands.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sit down next to him. This is probably a stupid question, but how are you?
I'm still breathing, I guess. I don't know. It's... On what aspect are you asking, I guess?
Any? Every?
Like I said, I'm still breathing. It's about as good as it can get right now.
You know, Wink was right about a lot. And I already knew that he was right about a couple things that he said to me. I've been wanting to talk to you, but it's never seemed like a good time. Doesn't seem like a real good time right now either, but maybe there's no such fucking thing as a good time.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's now or never.
So, shit, I don't know where to start. Okay, how about this? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being, let's say, Melly, and 10 being more like, I don't know, Cordia. How much of an asshole would you say I've been lately?
I don't know what we're talking about right now. Ellory, I don't really think you've been an asshole, I guess. I mean, you're a little, I don't know, you, but that's no more than normal.
Well, I guess that's a bit of a relief then. You know, down in the cave, when I suggested that you ask your questions yourself, I actually meant that sincerely. You had some good thoughts. But I figured out from the reactions I got that it didn't come across the way I intended.
Well, no, I didn't get that at all. I mean, before you said that, you said, stay away. I do recall that, and I don't think I misinterpreted it.
No, you didn't. Thank you, by the way, for stepping back when I asked. I honestly thought you were going to fight me on that. Otherwise, I think I might have tried to be nicer about it.
Oh, well, I mean, it wasn't, I don't know, you asked.
Things are better when we're working together, right?
I sure think so.
I think that about most things. Just not that.
Listen, Ellory, what are you trying to get at? I don't mean to rush you along or anything. It's just, I mean, it feels like we're kind of inching towards something, and I don't know. Like you said earlier, there's never really a good time, so maybe you should just rip that Band-Aid right off.
Okay, so here's the thing that really matters, I guess. I have spent the entire time since you came home, since I got out of that fucking prison, just believing that you hated me. And I'm pretty sure I was wrong. I hope I was wrong. But
yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I don't know where you got that from. And I probably something I did. So, sorry.
I don't think it was anything you did. Not really. But I just needed to make sure I was wrong about that. Because I've been trying to figure things out on my own, and I just end up confusing myself more.
Well, you know, we're all supposed to be friends here. I mean, even if you can't talk to me, or because it's about me or something, there's a couple others that, I mean, we're supposed to be functional. Like you say, we work better as a group. And sometimes it's best just to let things out in the open. Just talk to somebody.
Guess that's not something that comes easily to me.
Well,
but yeah.
You know, some skills you gotta learn.
Thank you for being here. And maybe you didn't think I was being that much of an asshole, but I'm still sorry.
He kind of puts his arms around her in a playful kind of like,
nothing to worry about.
Okay. So, in the interest of getting y'all back to Ember Shore, you guys are now 4th level. The first day goes by. During the night, you hear some stomping through the woods, humanoid. But it doesn't ever come close enough to you. You remain quiet, and it passes. The second night, a few wolves starving come upon you. You take on 2 before the rest of them run. The third night, you start to exit out of the high altitudes. The air isn't as thin. It's thicker. You can smell the fresh air and even salt at times from the ocean. Another day passes, and you can see the gates of Ember Shore. You kind of backtrack along the way, healing up, eating by the campfire, which you can, until you can see the gates of Ember Shore in the distance.
Since we're getting closer, real close to Ember Shore, I would have said to everyone at some point along the way, look, I know we don't want to delay things too much, but I've been thinking about Called Ship, and I've still got something I'm supposed to take off of it. I'm thinking it's better if I go in and do that first, before we all come marching through into the town as a group. so that no one can look at us and say, oh, this thing got stolen right after we got back.
That's fair.
On one condition, though.
What's that?
I'm coming in to help you.
No.
What do you mean by coming in?
Just into town.
Okay, because you're not stepping foot on that fucking ship.
Oh, I don't plan to. I'm just going to be me.
Why does that scare me a little?
Please. You can trust me.
Yeah, I know.
I'll come into town with you, and I'll help you out. Alright?
Thanks. Are there any objections to this?
I still don't think you should do it, but you're a grown woman, and I trust you. You do what you think's right.
I don't know fuck all about what's right. Can I ask what your problem is with this?
It's one more step down a path that hasn't done you very good so far. So, I don't know. I don't want to see you suffer anymore. And, well, yeah, like I said, another step that way.
It might be a step I need to take to get off that path. I'm not sure where I'm headed, but I'm gonna still be stuck in it as long as I have this hanging over my head.
You do what you need to. If you need help, you come find me.
Thanks.
Is this in front of the whole party? You're saying this?
Yes.
Yeah. So when Kalvyn says, "You come find me," then Ball will step up and say, "Come find me too. You can find any of us." And then I'll look around at the party for kind of like confirmation.
Nods.
Yeah.
Probably not me, actually.
Well, that's good to know.
It's alright, Wink. Someone had to say it.
Wasn't really expecting any of you to help me with this.
Ellory?
Amsen? Yeah?
It's going to be an adventure. That means I'm involved somehow.
Every time you say that, it goes to shit real quick. Just saying.
I just smile at Kalvyn. Really big. Look back at Ellory. Do you think you're ready?
Hell no.
Well, Ellory, I can help you out before you go in.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can enhance either your dexterity or your ability to find things. I can give you extra health, I guess, make you a little more hearty. And if I get close enough, within 1,000 feet, I can try and figure out what part of the ship the object you're looking for is on.
Those would all definitely come in handy.
Can we provide a distraction?
I've got that in mind. I've got that covered. Don't worry about it.
Amsen, what do you have in mind?
Well, I've been gone for about a week and a half. I'm going to put on a show. And it's not going to be at the ship, don't worry. It will be as if it's a normal show. But I will be putting it on at the exact same time that you will be looking on that ship. And I think I've got a story somewhere that will entrance a group of wandering Viking barbarians.
If you make a huge announcement, though, won't that alert them that we're back into the city?
Oh, yeah, that's my
exactly
issue
the
with
opposite of what Ellery's plan was.
They don't know where I've been going.
They know that you're associated with Ball. They've seen you with him.
This is true.
You sang to his dead body, like, they're gonna know.
He could have ran ahead and announced our arrival.
Ellory doesn't want that.
I don't like this idea of a distraction.
I won't do it.
Here's
if
my
you
question.
really think that it'll jeopardize you. Yes,
Amsen,
Vink?
hush.
I mean, what's going to happen when we give this news? Let's skip ahead till after this, because Colt knowing that you stole something from him may be the least pissed off or reason he's pissed off at you in the long run. So if he's going to try and kill you anyway, when you confront him with the fact that he has to either go, I believe go meet with his sister, or she's coming to destroy him here, I think, in the scheme of things, stealing an item is going to get lost in that mix.
Unless he just takes off and leaves us for dead.
I think that's what he's probably going to do anyway. I think your bigger question is, how do you prevent him from doing that?
Can't go anywhere if you don't have a ship.
Oh.
Well, wait.
My.
Do we know what Ellery's supposed to be grabbing?
Yeah, it's this, iron egg.
You think it's important enough that would make him stick around if he knew it was missing?
Hard to say. I don't quite see what the value is in it myself.
Oh, shucks.
Well, I kind of like burning his boat down.
We want him out of Embershore, don't we?
Eventually,
Well,
at some point.
She's coming here anyway. The goal of finding him. If she doesn't find him here, I don't know if that saves her town.
We're supposed to send him to her. And if he doesn't get to her, then she's coming here.
Well, here's the thing. I think whether the theft happens mysteriously right before you get back into town, or right afterwards, I think you're going to be a factor that is suspicious. Maybe take some time to prepare, figure out the situation, see what we can do in the town. First, with this news that we're bringing that called sent us forth to bring a war down.
You know, the main reason, well, two reasons. One, that I don't want suspicion falling on all of you. But the second reason is that, for all we know, Cald is going to jump right back on a ship as soon as he gets the news and just be gone immediately, and I'll have no chance at paying off this fucking debt.
And you talk to your person you're in debt to, and they wouldn't budge.
I forgot before we left.
Ellory!
I know.
Okay, maybe you have time to talk to them before this all goes down then.
And tell you what, you get the stone, I'll go in before, make myself known around town, you get the stone, I leave in a big show.
I think I see what you're getting at.
Right.
You're all great, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to die if I stick around with you. So, I'm pretty sure my debt is paid, but I can help you out with this and get you out of a little trouble. But then I have some research to do.
You know, if all goes well and we don't all die, we do know where we've seen these catacomбs that you've been looking for. I don't think it would be unreasonable for us to go out and show you where.
Oh, I can find them. Though, Cal, these unhallowed of yours, would you able to point me to them? I have questions.
And I got just the girl to answer them for you.
Great. So, let's go in. Let's let me be the mysterious factor. I'll take a couple things here and there just to cast suspicion on me. You do your job. I abscond. And hopefully, that gets rid of your trail. And don't worry about me. I disappear pretty well when I want to.
I like that.
That sounds pretty good. And I know, if I can, talking to Voyage might not be a bad idea if I can find him quickly enough. And, I'd hate to ask again, but Amsen, if you can spare me a bit of gold, there's something I need that could make this job a whole lot easier.
I'll have to count my coin again, but I might be able to help you out.
I have a few gold too if you need it.
Let me keep track of anything that you give me, and I will pay you back as soon as I have money in my pocket.
As long as you get out alive, you don't need to pay me back.
You need to pay me back for every copper that I've ever given you. Ever. No, it's fine.
All right. So with this loose plan, it sounds like Wink is going ahead. And then Ellory, are you going ahead after Wink?
Yes.
Okay, and then the rest of the group behind.
I
think
going in with
Amsen
Ellory.
With
and
Ellory,
probably
okay.
Vesper.
And Vesper. Okay. So Wink goes ahead. So I'm going to say, as you are coming in, Wink, you go ahead and you begin to do your whatever it is that you're doing. As that's happening, and Ellory and Amsen are going to hanging back, but are going to move next. As the rest of the group is falling behind, but eventually going, Kalvyn, you hear a noise coming out of the bushes and jumping out. You see leaping this massive werewolf creature with this dark brownish fur and this long, almost scraggly beard that comes down to its chest. It's about 6.5 feet tall, about your height. And as it jumps out, it looks at you. Its bones snap, and you see standing in front of you, Boris Vaffling. As he communicates with you,
You were so big.
I know. I can do it again. It takes a little bit, but he's blushing. He likes the attention. he's used to Cordia probably beating him down every day. So, but he very friendly after you say that, gets you to pull out the contract, goes over what you have, and gives you 225 gold pieces in exchange for what you have, and he puts it into his bag of holding to bring back to the tower. So you have 225 gold pieces, unless you want to keep something, but otherwise that's giving all of it. That's what you get. As the rest of the group goes forward, Wink, were you just making a distraction, or were you doing something specific? Otherwise,
no, I'm just like going into town and immediately like starting conversations about the ship and maybe referencing the orb.
Okay, so you're just making yourself super suspicious. It doesn't take long before raiders are following you with shaved heads and beards and tattoos. So it doesn't take long for you to kind of build suspicion and build a following. As Ellory, Vesper, Amsen, you're going in, what was the specific thing you were going for that you needed gold for? And we can just make that exchange now.
2 things that I wanted. One, I wanted to get a new spellcasting focus, and I was thinking that I probably wanted to get a rod if I could find that.
On the way back, on the several days on the way back, Melly identified a few things for you. One being it's not an iPad, it's a black mirror, and it's a spellcasting focus.
Oh, you want that?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And thank you.
You clean it off as a silver rim, and it looks like melted into the silver metal is the Apple iOS. No, but it has like little emeralds or broken green glass. You're not sure, broken up and melted into the silver. And then the mirror itself is black. But it has magical energy. You can cast spells through it. The second thing?
The second thing was just some ball bearings.
Okay. As you're kind of sneaking through town, trying to be kind of subtle about it, you're moving through town and you're suddenly grabbed to the side, pulled into an alleyway where there's voyage. You ask for ball bearings, and he like brings out a sack of it and just gives them to you. And he also gives you one other thing, a vial. The vial looks empty at first, but as you slosh it around, you can actually see there's a little bit of air. The liquid is almost invisible. And he tells you that's what it does for a short time.
How long's a short time?
He says 10 minutes.
Good to know. That gives me a bit more flexibility.
He says it's something.
So, things are looking pretty bad right now. You should know we have potentially 600 orcs coming here to Embershore if we don't get called out of here and on his way somewhere else.
Then we need to move quickly.
Yes.
We need to get you on that ship, get the egg, get back, send him on his way. They've been shaking down people. They're getting antsy. After letting you know that, and you're kind of getting the stuff you need, Vesper, Amsen, Kalvyn, were you all doing anything particular, or just kind of grabbing your stuff and kind of hanging out until this goes down?
I wanted to kind of walk near the docks. I'm going home to put my stuff down. But if I'm within 1,000 feet of the ship, I want to try and find an iron egg. Sure. I can just do something vague like that.
Okay. And with an iron egg, there's only one thing that pings, and it does ping in the lower area of the ship, probably in a cargo hold. Looks like in the lower back area.
Okay.
You don't know the layout of the ship, but lower back is what you got.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll let Ellory know that.
So you got that. And I guess, kind of just stepping out of the story for a minute, do y'all want to, because I can easily handle this story with Ellory via like downtime almost, and come back after all this happens and y'all can immediately go on the next whatever you guys are doing? Or do you guys want to actually walk through this stuff? The only reason I hesitate to walk through it is because it sounds like Ellory is doing it alone, and the rest of y'all would be sort of sitting there. So are you okay with me doing this, kind of taking it in sort of a downtime activity almost?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm up for either way.
If Nyessa is.
Okay. Yeah. If you're okay with that, we'll do it that way. You'll hit a lot of the same rolls. We'll go through that, and then we'll pick up probably with y'all dealing with Called, because I think that has to be addressed at some point. And then we'll pick up, then after y'all do that, then we'll go wherever you guys are planning from there.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on Stitcher. It's like Pandora, but for podcasts. You can download the app and the algorithm will help you discover similar shows and allow others to find ours as well. If you would like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the_story. Alternatively, you can email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. Or if you would like further information about the campaign, the player characters, NPCs, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on Tumblr at back-to-the-story.tumblr.com.